Hello guys, welcome back. We are in Torino at this point and we're gonna try to remake Mazzarri's Mazzarri's tactic in Torino. Torino is a very great team. I think many of you have tried to play with Torino or want to play with Torino. It's a big team with a good history and also good strikers in this team. You got a lot of central defenders, as you can see here. You got some good central strikers. Well-known Zaza for his penalty, and you also got Belotti, that is a great player, as you can see from the start is interested in him. You got also some talents like Miriam Ibrahim at loan club from Brescia. You should do this permanent. We're gonna keep this one a little bit, creating the style of Walter Mazzarri in Torino. Try to make it as right as possible of the way they play the game, but at the same time I will also give you some what I think is right for this club. Is not that it's right or wrong, okay? But something you should start with, guys, because sometimes I lay out movies out here and the guys say, you know, he's not a deep line playmaker, he's a central defender, he's this, and that. And what I want to tell you guys is you have to understand that, for example, a central defender, or not that, for example, a deep line playmaker is not a deep line playmaker in every kind of tactic. You have to see it around the big picture, because, for example, when I lay out the Manchester City system, they say, no, he's a inverted wingback, he's this and this. No, you have to remember that you have to watch the whole game and see how he plays. Then you can start to say, okay, this is deep line playmaker or not. And I mean, in the game, because Football Manager is not this. If you watch a game, you say, oh, okay, he has a lot of passes here, he's a deep line playmaker. You can sometimes use a deep line playmaker as a regista even, or different things. For example, you can use a box midfielder and put some point out some, for example, edit here his instructions, and he will be a totally different player, and also based on what you shows for the teams, how the team you want the team to play. I was watching the game today with I have a long time wanted to play with Torino, but when I start a game for myself and I play the game, it's more for me not to copy the system of another coach. I want to be the coach at that team and do it my own way, okay? But I like the way Torino played. I like the way Torino played. It's a little bit different, and so we're gonna try to keep it the way they played today. And we're gonna watch some of the players here. I'm just going to pick up some few players that I'm read about in the game against Spal. I think it was Torino against Spal. What I can see there, guys, was it's a very direct 3-5-2, but we're gonna go into details later. But yeah, very direct kind of style, but not that many long balls in the game. But it was direct play, and for those who don't know it, the game ended 0-0, and yeah, it was a great game, but with a red card also for Torino, and that was Nkulu who got the red card. I think Nkulu was playing in the center as defender, and at the right side it was Izo, and the left side I think was Moretti, but you can... we are copying it, so later you can go out there and try it out yourself. This was the 11 that played this game. And Silvestri was the wing back at right, and at the left you had Aina at this point, and you also had Lukic. That was the cool thing. Lukic was at the right side, I think, and left side was the thing that was a little bit surprising for me. It was Ansaldi who played that role. He didn't play wingback because Aina did it. I'm gonna come back into that. But that was one of the most especially cool thing I saw in this game. And you got also Rincon. So then the Basali and Falcao, these are players who normally I think will play in the game, and you also Maite. So yes, you have great players here. We are copying the match against Spal with the same players, okay? And at the right attack it was Zaza, at the left it was Belotti. Let's go with further ado. But you have great players here, guys. You know, this is a team you should really play with. You got Igor Falcao. This is a great player. Faloke, I think, and Suranio. He was great when he went over to Villarreal here, I think the first year. But anyway, this is also a good player to see. middle good player. Baselli is a very I like him very much. Baselli is a good player. Very typical Italian player, lacking dribbling, but he's got good passing, got good decision. No, he doesn't got good decisions. He got good vision. Okay, I'm sorry. I think there are two Basellis here. Maite is also a good player, but let's not use our time on these things. We're going out there and creating the system. How did they play it? Okay, we start with, first of all, in possession. When the team had possession, they played really narrow. I think they played almost very or narrow. I'm not sure about that to be start with. And passing directness was shorter passing, but it was higher tempo, very high tempo in my indeed. The crosses, we are not going that. They dribbled, not that much. The ball went on. Passing to space, they did it, but I'm not going to take this one to start with. In translation, they took counter pressing. They had counter attacks and distributed quickly to the fly. No, he only distributed quickly. He mixed that one up, so we are not touching this one. He had the defense line was, I personally believe, was something like that. Was it higher or was it standard? I think it was higher. They get stuck in, prevented goal kick from short kicks, and they really were intense in their pressing when you came forward here, like this. And I think they played attacking. We have to wait and see on that one, guys. I'm not totally sure what to go there. Anyway, Rincon is going down here, and he was a Caraglio, and he was a Mazzarri. That was the cool thing. I have never seen something like that before. This was a winger in support. You could also say this was a wide midfielder, and I personally believe he was something like this. I, in a way, also think Aina was standing there. He got great pass, but he was not using it. So for me, he was a wide midfielder in that game. He was standing there where Ansaldi went to make the runs here and came at this side, sometimes here. So for me, he was a wide midfielder. And I know it's crazy, but he was. And you had the Lukic here, and he was central midfield in defense. Well, you can also see he was a deep line playmaker, but the game didn't went through him all the time. I think it was very easy to see that. And you also got covering central defense. That's right. I don't see Nkouli covering that much. I think we're gonna go like this. They didn't play the offside trap, I have to say that. And he was a support. Forward, this was a target. I'll go in here. Both of them are, to be honest, pressing forwards, but I think Sasa went in some duels up there, so you can use him as a complete forward, or you can use him as a target man in support. He made some runs out there. I don't know. Target man in attack, and he's either advanced forward, but I think personally he was a pressing forward. He made some very good runs out there, and okay. And something else they were extremely well at is defending the flanks. They pushed it through the middle, and it is, as you can see here, it's really hard to come through here. We could also go like this. But I don't want these players going on run out there, guys. So I think we're gonna go like this. Wide midfielder in support, wide midfielder in support. I'm gonna show you why. Wide midfielder in support. Because when he's playing wide midfielder, the thing is that he will stand here, he will keep the wide of the game, as you can see. He will not take that many runs. You can hold in position, stay wide, take more risk. Same here. Stay wide. Because he will hold up the ball in a way. And you will get the Carrillo here. He will stay wider and he will go on some moves. And the thing with him is that, especially with Ansaldi, that is a left-footed player, I think. He can be either, but he's a left-footed player. He has some good dribbling, he's some good tackling. I don't know why he was playing like that, but he goes in a Mazzarri in support. And he also played very aggressive. Like this. You can take it to whole position. And Aina was normally here, putting up the channel. He came there and got the ball. He came there and got the ball. He kept the ball so he can come through. And as you can see here, as a wide midfielder, when you go for support, with support duty, the wide midfielder will stay deeper and play angle through balls into the box from wide position, although he will still cross when it's on. So while if you take for defend, it will be a duty. The wide midfielder will sit back and launch crosses from deep. We don't want that. We want him to give some through balls as well. So you can either be that, you can maybe go for defensive winger, and that will be with a defensive duty. Defensive winger job is primarily to provide behind him working identity to reduce the threat posed by opponents in his area for the pitch and break attacks higher up in the pitch. With support duty, defensive winger job try to win the ball, get past his man. No, that's not right. So you could also say he's an inverted winger, but he's not. We try this one. And at the right, I will try. Something else. So you can see he's a little more defensive than this player. So I can say maybe he's a complete wingback in support. The Mazzarri here, the deep line. He's a deep line playmaker in the mention that he tries to get the ball. He comes down to pick up the ball, but the main team, he comes deep to get the ball, but they don't use him that much. That's also the truth. So I will not use him there. I will use him as a defensive midfielder in support here. And you got Belotti here. I think distance here can be a little bit far, but we can also go target man in support. You could also go with Zaza as a complete forward, I think. In support. Like this. But then you can, when you have the system here, and I think you can see what's like sweeper goalkeeper in defense. You can start thinking, okay, do I want to use one of these players as a ball playing defenders? They didn't play that ball that many times high. So I would go here and I would did the instruction and shorter passing. They are already using it, so they're already playing short passes, and you have players who can do a better job than those we have chosen here. Moretti, for example, is a slow player, bad jumping reach. It's okay with the ball, and he's 37 years old. I don't think he plays all those games there, because you got also Linaco. He's a better player in the air. He's 21 years old. He has a bright future. Not good tackler, not good. I think you have to give him some more chance. But and Kolo here, he's a good player as the heading, not that good in jumping. And that's a little bit scary part, because they are defending the middle very well. They're defending the middle. They're pushing the opponent to the sides. And in Italy, you got a great strikers with heading abilities. So when we do it this way, it's a little bit dangerous, because that's what they're doing. They're pushing the opponents all the way, all the time through the sides and defending the middle here. But you don't got any players who are good in the air. So that's the problem you have with Football Manager in the real life at this part, because you will really, really get punished for this. And you got, for example, players such as Bremer. Maybe you should use him then. Bremer is a great jumper reach. He's 21 years old as well. He can be a great central defender. And playing there, you can also use players such as Kofi Didi, who is a little more balanced. He's on loan from Nantes, but I would send him back if I was you. And you got also in middle, if you want to, you got Maite. I think Rincon is better than Maite. Rincon has a great ability to play in this position in Football Manager. He's one of the better players, and when it comes to tackling, he will not give away that many free kicks. He's aggressive, combined with his great tackling and marking, it will make him a vicious player at that part. He will defend your midfield here very well. And you got also Basali. You can play him in our both. I think as a Mezzala, you can play there. Off the ball is better, so he will do a better job than Ansaldi here. I think Ansaldi will do a better job, and Aina here, and maybe put Ansaldi as a wide here as a wing back in defense, and make Baseli going on the runs. You also got Igor Falco. He's a left-footed player. If you are playing this system, he can play up front as a striker. He can also play the Mezzala role very well. And you also, including all those players, you got also Suranio. You can play all these three roles. And you also, let's see, we have Edera here. I have not seen him before. I'm not sure where he can play in this system, so I could maybe get rid of him. You also got Berenguer. They got a lot of half good players in this team. Spanish player, as you can see, is both interested to buy him or loan him, send him away, because I don't think, again, he can do a good job at the left side here, but or here, but it's not a great player. Paragini is a player from Italy. He's a great acceleration on him, and good technique here, but good flair. Not that interesting player. I wouldn't do. And you also got Ibrahimi. Ibrahimi is a 16-year-old from Albania, on loan from Brescia. I will buy him immediately. He can be a great striker. His first touch is good. He's a different kind of striker than the other ones we have. And the jumping reach is good, so you can also use him as a target player. He can be an extremely good target player, in my opinion. 15 at jumping reach when he's 16 years old. That's a real high. He's 193 already. So this can be a good player. He's finishing at 6'11", and he got amateur contract at this point. Give him a full contract, use him, buy him, make the best out of it. Guys, I hope this was good for you. I hope you start with the Torino. You will make a great game. The players here are great guys. Maybe they should. I don't know. I don't often. I can say sometimes I'm inspired by the teams when I play them, but I don't take the shows. I don't play them directly that style. I more sometimes make a style, like, for example, like Zidane, and play one season and say, oh, okay, I made it or did not make it. Did I make them? Normally, I try out the system before I play it, but I have seen Torino 2 weeks in a row now at this point, and I just finished them watching against Ball, and I was just motivated to make this because this was so fresh in my head. The only thing I'm a little bit sure about, you should be testing the sides here before you go out there. This side should not be attacking, this side should not be pumping up. They are more in a support duty. When Ansaldi comes out here, then he's standing still here and he will support him in a way. Maybe you can use him as a winger in defense, even in support, but I'm afraid he will start to pump up the ball then. But test it out, okay? Test it out. And so you can test those out. And the other part is the mentality of the game. In a way, they pass the ball very fast, but it's not like that everyone is passing the ball. And one thing we didn't put out here, I should do, is they build up, play out of defense, and they work the ball into the box. So they are not pumping in. The problem here is, if I approach this attacking here, you will see a lot of movement here. Lukic, I think, is good enough there. Ansaldi is something in real life that a workout, but I don't know if it will work out in Football Manager using him at this role. But anyway, guys, I hope you will have success with this team and bring it on. You could also maybe drive in, if you think the Football Manager terms, maybe you have to tweak him to an attacking point here to get some, because the rooms around here are a lot. and I'm not thinking that much about the dots here, but the distance here a lot is too much maybe. Okay, try it out guys, and I hope you really enjoy playing with Torino. Thank you very much.